What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for new coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs. In today's video, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, you know that we often dive really deep into strategies and tactics all around social media, online marketing, and entrepreneurship. However, a couple weeks ago, I did go over on my Instagram and I asked you guys if you guys had any other questions for me regarding my own journey in entrepreneurship. Now, if you are new to my channel and this is the very first time and the first video that you've ever seen from me, hello, how are you? My name is Vanessa, and a year ago, I started this YouTube channel from scratch. And fast forward a whole year later, this YouTube channel now has over 100,000 subscribers. Not only this, I also started my coaching business last year as well, and now my business is in the multiple six figures. That's why I really wanted to answer some of your top questions because, by the way, I got a lot of questions that I think are going to help you a lot and are topics that I generally have never talked about here on my channel. So if you're interested in diving deep with me, understanding my journey a little bit more, and also getting your top questions answered, then keep on watching. All right, guys, so I've got my phone ready. I have some of your top questions loaded up in here and also some of my answers. Now, I am going to be looking at my phone often just because I did pre-write my answers. I want to make sure that this video is equally as valuable as my other videos because I know what it feels like to be in the beginning stages of your journey and having other people just tell you, believe in yourself, you got this, and still feeling really stuck. So I want to make sure that I'm adding as much value as I can when I'm answering these questions. So anyways, the first question that I got was actually a question that a lot of people asked. So it was more than one person who submitted this question. And that is, what were some of the key mindset shifts that you needed to make to support you on your journey? And there were definitely 3 that I have identified that truly changed the game for me and really helped me level up, not just in my business, but also in my life. And the first one is thinking big. Now, this is something that I've talked about a lot, but I honestly used to be the type of person that would set really low standards for myself and for other people. And the reason why I used to do this is because I just didn't want to be disappointed. And I think that if you are a type A person, you might be the same as me. So make sure you comment below if you know what I'm talking about when you are someone who just sets the standard really low because you want to avoid disappointment and failure. Now, I realized that this mindset was not really doing me any good. And it wasn't until I started to really surround myself with other entrepreneurs, I realized that anyone who is successful in life is not shooting their own goals down. And if anything, they've got massive visions. They have a strong, unwavering belief that they can make it happen. And I really began to notice that that was something that I also needed to emulate. And it really wasn't until my interaction with one of my mentors and friends, Wilson Lee. I talked about it in this video right here before, by the way, but basically it was my first time meeting him and he asked me what my business goals were, specifically for my first year in business. And I said, well, I've got a goal of making around 40K to 65K in my first year, 40K because that's the average of what most people earn, and 65K because that's what I earned in my corporate job. So if I can replace that, I would be extremely happy. And deep down inside, I honestly was so nervous that he was gonna laugh in my face, that he was gonna say to me that I wasn't realistic and that these goals were way too big. But instead, he was like, what the heck? Your goals are literally that small. I want you to make 100K. In your first year. And my jaw just dropped. Like, I literally was like, are you crazy? Like, how is that even possible? But what I learned from talking to Wilson and him walking me through the reason why he was pushing me to do 100K is because if you're setting your goal to 40K or 65K, then your actions are going to reflect a 40 to 65K goal. So if you're telling yourself that you just want to sign one client this year, then guess what? You're going to sign one client this year and that's all. That's it. Your actions are only going to reflect your goal of signing one client. Versus if you're telling yourself, which is what I told myself, that I'm gonna make 100K this year, I'm revving up my efforts. I'm taking 10x action to meet that goal. And because I knew that I wanted to make 100K now, I showed up even more. I hustled even more. I hopped on so many calls with people. I coached so many people for free. I did all that I needed to collect the necessary information in order to have a 100K launch, in order to actually achieve this goal. I stayed up, really connecting with my audience. I didn't miss out on YouTube videos. I posted twice a week instead of one time a week because I knew that I had a very ambitious goal of meeting 100K. And guess what? Within 4 months of me launching my business, I made $200,000 in sales. unreal. And it was all because I thought big. So I'm telling you that if you are someone who was just like me for a very long time, setting very low goals because you want to avoid disappointment, I'm telling you right now, you're doing yourself a really big disservice. So really start thinking big in your business, but also thinking big in your life, because I guarantee if you actually work towards those big goals, you will show up even more and you will meet those goals if you are committed and if you have extreme ownership to do so. Now, moving on to the second mindset shift that I had to make is asking myself, what would the 6, 7, or 8-figure version of me do? And this was something like pretty much like a mantra that I would always ask myself if I was facing a problem or if I felt stuck or unmotivated in my business. And obviously when I wasn't making 6 figures, I was asking myself, what would the 6-figure version of me do? Now that I'm making 6 figures, I now ask myself, what would the 7-figure version of me do? So on and so forth, because, you know, at every stage of growth, it's going to require a different version of you, and what got you here is not going to get you to where you want to be. So you want to keep this in mind. But basically, this mindset shift was really game-changing for me, because when I felt really low vibe, or if I was stressing about small things, I would really take a step back and ask myself, what would the 6-figure version of me react to this? How would she react to this? What would she think about this? What would she do? How would she solve this problem? And by asking me that question, it really helped me to think higher level, to be a bigger person, and to not really sweat about the small stuff. For example, a 6-figure business owner is not looking at all of their hate comments online and trying to reply to every single one of them. A 6-figure business owner is not doing low-level things like trying to figure out what hashtag to use, what placements their emojis are. They're not spending majority of their time stressing about that. There's so many different things that 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs are not doing and that you are doing, which is why it's keeping you stuck and not actually making you into that 6, 7, 8-figure version of yourself that you want to be. Because the moment that you start acting like a 6-figure business owner, you then start becoming a 6-figure business owner just based on your actions alone. It's very similar to the first mindset shift that I made. The fact that most entrepreneurs, they're not shooting themselves short. They're not thinking low. They're not setting low goals. They have big visions that they want to accomplish, and therefore their actions will reflect that. So that's why making this mindset shift was really important for me, and I really, really recommend that you do it, because there's so many things that you just gotta let go of. If you have an unhappy client that's bashing you online or something like that, really ask yourself, what would a 6-figure version, or what would a 6-figure CEO do about this? Would they stress about it and cry about it and shut down their whole business because one person wasn't happy? No, they would move forward. They would understand what they did wrong and try to get better. Or if you are spending so much of your time stressing about one mistake that you made in a newsletter, is really a 6-figure CEO stressing about that? No, they're not. They're moving on. They're working on the strategy of their business. So you really want to ask yourself, what would the 6-figure version of yourself do? Now, the third mindset shift that I had to make that really helped me, and this is actually something that I made recently, and that is no one can do you better than you. And the reason why this is now a really important thing that I always have to keep in mind of is because when you start really growing fast in your business and you become a thought leader in your space, it can get really scary because you start seeing people replicating the things that you do, or you see people being really inspired by your work, and you start to feel the competition, and you start to feel like, oh my gosh, what if I run out of ideas? What if someone does something better than me and I just fade into the background? What if people in my community find someone better? And this is really common as you're growing your business, because you start to really see like, oh my gosh, like I've built something, or at least that's what I felt. And I really had to get over this because I'm in the business of service. I'm in the business to teach you guys. I'm in the business of being a valuable thought leader that is sharing content to help you guys, because I wish a lot of the content that I post for free on YouTube is what existed for me a year ago, and it wasn't. And so because of that, because of the value that I give, sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, have I given too much? And I know that this is something that my higher self would tell you guys that not to sweat about, but my lower self is also in the same boat. And so I have to tell myself that no one can do me better than me. Even if there's someone who literally rips off an entire video of mine or takes an entire concept, they'll never be able to deliver it the way that I do. They'll never be able to coach the way that I do. They'll never be able to be me. And that's the same mindset shift that you need to make, because even though I'm telling you guys that this is something that I've experienced recently, it's something that's really common in people who are just starting out as well. You're You're gonna think, oh my goodness, like someone else has already done this before, and therefore I don't think I can do it, yada, yada, yada. But you have to remember that if you compare yourself to everyone else and you stop yourself just because a concept was replicated or it was done before, then you're really doing a disservice to other people who might really align more with your personality, the way that you deliver something, the way that you explain, or the way that you teach. And not only this, I also had to tell myself that creativity cannot be stolen. Okay, so even if someone steals a video of mine, or even if someone takes my course and tries to replicate it or something like that, I know that as long as I have my brain, my creativity, my own uniqueness, then I'm always going to come out on top. And all I have to do is stay in my own lane and create the things that I want to create. So I really want to share this third mindset shift with you because it's something that I've had to implement really recently in the past maybe couple months or so, because it was starting to get to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like people are actually listening to what I have to say, and I'm starting to see a lot of the information everywhere. And my lower self started to feel stressed about it. But my higher self obviously is like, Vanessa, like a six-figure CEO is not thinking about this. So really telling myself, no one can do me better than me has really helped me in just staying in my own lane and just continuing to create the things that I want to create freely without being scared that someone's going to, you know, take my entire business and run away with it, because it's just not going to happen. I'm here to stay. So anyways, guys, those were the 3 mindset shifts that I definitely made in my business. Now, the next question that I got from you guys was, how was it for you in those first few weeks or months when no one was noticing you yet? Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that really got me by, and it's actually from another coach. Her name is Amanda Francis. So Amanda Francis is a multiple 7-figure entrepreneur. And I remember being in a Facebook group, and the person in this Facebook group shared a screenshot that Amanda had posted in one of her old Facebook groups or something like that. And this is the screenshot right here where she disclosed her earnings. And you'll notice in her screenshot that she made very little money in the first few years of her business. And it wasn't until later on where she really started to see the 6 and 7 figures coming in. And I really used this as my motivation to keep going. And not only this, all the entrepreneurs that I've ever admired, Sunny Lenarduzzi, Amy Porterfield, James Wedmore, these are people who have been in business for a decade, and they didn't find success until maybe the latter part of that decade. And I told myself that I'm in this for the long run. I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful that within the first year, I've already made 6 figures, but I could have easily, like most people, given up within the first 4 months when I heard nothing. And for me, what really kept me going was understanding that this whole business journey takes time. And if I can't survive my first year, then why am I doing this? Because there's so many other people that I look up to that have really withstood the test of time. Amanda Francis, Amy Porterfield, Sunny Lenarduzzi, all these amazing female entrepreneurs have been in the game for over 10 years. And they didn't give up, even though within their 5th year, they were probably also struggling. And so that does not give me a good excuse to literally quit my business within the first year, let alone the first few months. So that's what really got me going. It was specifically this screenshot that I literally saved on my phone, reminded myself every day that this shit takes time. And if you do not have the patience to see it through, especially if you're telling yourself that starting your business is your dream and you're gonna give up on your dream within the first month because you don't hear back from clients or you don't have any clients at all, then that's fucking bullshit. Right? So that's something that I really want to share with you that truly helped me get through those times where I wasn't making sales, or when I wasn't making a lot of views on YouTube, or where the only people that were watching my videos were my family and my friends. So I really hope that this helps, because this truly, truly is what helped me have stamina in my business and to really see things through. All right, so the next question that I thought was really interesting was, did you have anybody in your life try to discourage you? Yes, 100 times yes. I think at any stage of my life, like all stages of my life, whether it was high school, university, now, or when I was starting my business, there was always someone who was doubting me, and I'm someone who literally gets fueled by that. Like the more people that doubt me, the more I want to show up and prove them wrong. The best form of revenge, at least for me, is my success. the more successful that I can be, the more it is for me to actually shut every single person down in my life who has ever fucking doubted me. And so when I was starting my business journey, obviously there were a lot of people who were discouraging, and it didn't have to be just verbally discouraging me, but you could tell by their demeanor when I was sharing my ideas, sharing that I wanted to start this YouTube channel, sharing that I quit my 9-to-5 and I'm going all in on creating this thing that I don't even know what will be yet. You could tell like it was like, okay, like good luck with that, like all that stuff. So that was one form of discouragement that I felt. But the biggest form of discouragement was one time I actually got connected to this 7-figure online entrepreneur, and I hopped on a call with him because a mutual friend of ours actually connected us together. And at the time I was just starting out my business. Like I literally didn't even have a business yet. It was just an idea. It was a vision. And on this call, he asked me, so what's your vision for your business? What are you planning to do? And I said, I want to be a coach. I want to teach other people the things that I've learned. And I also want to be a YouTuber and start this business online and have people find me through social media and in a way be a pillar of inspiration for others who are afraid to quit their 9-to-5s and all of that, and really coaching people through that, because I know from my experience of talking to other people within my circle, there were a lot of people, specifically millennials, that were stuck in this 9-to-5 grind, and just seeing them struggle so much of figuring out whether or not or what they should do with their lives was really painful for me, and I really wanted to help alleviate that problem. And I told him my business idea, or my vision, not even an idea, it was just a vision, because on this call I thought that he would at least just give me some sound advice or point me to the right direction, but he didn't really give me advice at all, and instead he wanted to give me some real talk and honest truth because he cares about my well-being. And he said that I should have never quit my corporate job, that my vision was a stupid idea, and that it made no sense that I wanted to coach other people when I myself barely know what I'm doing. And I agree with him that you should be coaching people on the things that you know, but that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to literally tell him that I just want to teach people the things that I've learned in my life and try to help. That's all I wanted to do with my business. And he literally made me cry. He doesn't know he did, but after I hung up, I bawled my freaking eyes out. And through that experience, I had two options. I had option one, which was cave into this criticism, believe it as fact, believe it as my reality, and just tell everyone, you know what, this isn't for me, it was a dumb idea, let me just go back to corporate. Or I could take the other option, which was surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs that had a similar mindset or similar business model as I did. And I chose the latter, and I'm really glad that I did. And think of it as dating, you know what I mean? Like if you are dating a boyfriend who was horrible to you, does that mean that you're gonna stop dating altogether? No, it means that you're gonna try and find other people who fit your needs more. And that's exactly what I felt like in this situation. I was very tempted to say, oh my gosh, this person shat on my business idea, and therefore I'm never gonna talk to any entrepreneurs again. I'm gonna hide my ideas to myself because I wanna avoid criticism and I wanna protect my ideas, or I'll just quit altogether because I believe what he says. But instead, I found other people, other entrepreneurs who disagreed with what he said. And that really helped me to validate my vision. They didn't need to give me the step-by-step, but that validation alone that I could do something, that it was okay, was so liberating. And so my biggest advice to you, if you are starting out your business and maybe you're someone who found yourself in the same position that I did, really surround yourself with people who understand what you're going through, who have the results that you want, because the online entrepreneur that I talked to didn't even have the same business model as I did. It was very obvious that he didn't understand what I was doing because he's never done what I wanted to do. On the flip side, I saw so many other entrepreneurs do what I wanted to do, and therefore that gave me hope. And so now moving forward, I only take advice from people that have the results that I want to have, that have the very similar business model that I do. Because if I'm literally trying to get advice from every single entrepreneur out there, regardless of the industry that they're at, they're not gonna be able to help me to the fullest extent. As you can see, I'm getting really passionate. And another lesson is just because someone has a 6, 7, or 8-figure business doesn't mean that they're the best mentor for you. Just because I have a 6-figure business doesn't mean that I'm gonna be the perfect fit for you as your mentor, because you and I might have very similar goals in terms of business models. You might be someone who doesn't wanna be on social media in order to grow their business, and that's okay. You shouldn't take advice from me then. You should take advice from someone else who has found a different way to grow their business, because because there's so many different avenues to making money on and offline. You just have to choose the path that fits best to you and listen to those people who have had the results that you've had, who have followed that exact same path. And that's why for me, I follow people like Sunny Lerner-Doozy. I follow people like Erin May Henry. I follow people like Amy Porterfield. I follow people like Marie Forleo. These women who literally have driven a lot of business and a lot of opportunities to themselves because they post on social media, because they've leveraged the power of content creation, regardless if it's on blog form, video form, audio form, or whatever. They've been able to build very strong tribes and communities. And I wanted to do the same. And a year later, I've done exactly that because I only listen to the people who have literally gone before me and have achieved the things that I want, because it shows to me that it's possible. And if it's possible for them, you damn right well believe that it's possible for me. All right, so the next question that you guys asked me that I thought was a really awesome question is, what do you think you got right that a lot of people get wrong? And I really love this question because I definitely think that there are really key things that I've done that not a lot of people can do. And that is having patience and having the ability to see the bigger picture, to actually have perspective in business. I'm gonna give you a specific example. Actually, I'm gonna give you two specific examples. The first one is starting YouTube. I've helped a lot of people start their YouTube channels, clients, friends, everything like that, because people see my success on YouTube and they suddenly also want the same for them. And I love that. YouTube has opened up so many avenues for me, and it's helped me connect with you guys. But it doesn't mean that it was an overnight success. Now, obviously, this channel definitely grew really fast in just that 1 year, but you also have to keep in mind that most people quit within the first 3 months. And for me, this channel, for the first 6 months, for half a year, it wasn't like what it is now. It was just a regular YouTube channel of me slowly, very, very slowly building an audience. The problem is that a lot of people, when they're posting their first few videos, they're expecting that it's gonna blow up right away. But for me, even to this day, I don't stress about views because I know that once I put a piece of content out there, it's out there. And it's only a matter of time, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 5 months from now, a whole year from now, where people are going to find me. And having that perspective, being able to step outside of myself and understand what I'm really trying to build here really, really helps. And not a lot of people understand that. A lot of people are looking for the instant wins, instant gratification, short-term strategies instead of long-term strategies, and that's why they quit very early. Now, I'm gonna give you a specific example from one person that I actually helped in terms of building his channel. When we were first building his channel, his videos weren't really gaining a lot of traction. However, 6-7 months later, his videos started to actually generate more views, and not only this, people who wanted to buy from him. Half a year later, think about that. Craziness. Another example of people being impatient is taking shortcuts, feeling like they're better, that they are worth more. Specifically, working with clients for free or doing free work. I noticed that a lot of people get frustrated on this journey because they just want to make money super fast without understanding that you are trying to build a business that is built to last. And therefore, if you're here for the long run, you need to do market research. You need to strengthen your skills. You need to be humble and actually understand that if you work with clients one-on-one, it's gonna set you up for success when you end up launching a course, when you end up launching a membership, when you end up launching anything. But the problem is that a lot of people, they want to skip all of that and they want to dive straight into the course creation. They want to dive straight into the passive income direction. When in fact, if you're here to really build a viable business, you gotta take it slow. And what I noticed is that people get frustrated with that. And they're like, oh, I'm not getting results. This sucks. I give up. Without realizing, like, what? Rome was not built overnight. And if someone is promising you that you're gonna make money right away, especially if you're someone who doesn't even have a lot of experience, then I really question those strategies. And if they do work, awesome. But are they really long-term strategies that are going to generate you passive income, even more passive income than you would if you just did a shortcut? Because think about it, even for me, when I launched Boss Gram Academy, This was what I wanted to launch from the get-go, but I wasn't ready yet. And therefore, for a very long time, I was working with people for free, doing plenty of free coaching and market research calls in order to understand who I'm really trying to help and whether or not I like what I'm doing. And when I actually mastered this element first, and then I launched it and packaged all of my learnings in a program, this is when it really made the huge difference for me. But if I didn't do all of this, I would not have gotten to this result. So that's why you need to be able to step outside of yourself and see the bigger picture and not be blindsided by these little small things in your business, and really ask yourself, what are you trying to build? Because overnight success is not built in a day, in a month, in a year. Even for me, there's so many other things in my business that I want to do, but I'm humbling myself and I'm telling myself I'm gonna be here for the next 10 years. And so I gotta build this solid foundation. And that's why even in my approach to coaching, I do not take shortcuts. Some people like it, some people don't, and that's okay with me. But I know what I'm teaching is here to last for the long run, because in my experience of working in corporations, I know that it's not something that takes overnight to do. And that's why when you learn from me, or when you learn from someone who has a similar philosophy from me, you're here to slow down, take a step back, and do the work. Even if that work doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, it's going to contribute massively for the long term of your business. And so that's what's really important to me. And that's what I feel a lot of people are missing, because even if you look at my journey, I've been following the same strategy since day one, being on YouTube. It's been a whole year and I have over 75 videos to date. I've been doing this for a year. I wouldn't say a very long time, because that's going to really do a disservice to the people who have been doing it for years and years and years, but I'm comparing it to people that I know in my own circle, in my own network, or people that I just see online who give up after 3 months or 4 months. So really think about the long term of your business and have that ability to have perspective on things and have perspective on success. That's what I feel is truly missing from a lot of people who are trying to start their businesses these days. Now, I feel like this video is getting really, really long, so I'm just gonna choose one more question to answer that I feel might really help you guys when you guys are starting this business. And the next question is, how do you deal with the disappointment that follows with videos or content that you expected to do well? So basically this person is asking, how do I deal with disappointment when something that I post online doesn't do as well as I thought? I thought this was a really great question, because there are a lot of videos that I post that don't perform as well as my other videos. But what I learned through this journey and through looking at my analytics and understanding who I'm trying to serve is that yes, I'll have videos that kill it, and then I have other videos that don't do as well. However, the watch time and watch duration on those videos do a lot better. And that's when I know I'm truly serving my audience. Even if it's a smaller and more niche audience, I know that because the watch time is a lot higher, that what I'm saying is a lot more valuable and it's resonating. Now on my channel, I do post a lot about Instagram and YouTube and social media, because that's what people outside of my channel, outside of my community want, and that's what they initially find me for. However, I know many of you guys within my community, you guys are sick of Instagram. You guys want to learn about how to build a business. You guys want to learn about this stuff. Now, this video might not even perform as well as my other videos, but I know that for the few people that are continuing to watch this, your life might be changed just by the things that I'm saying, because it's hitting you home. And so what I learned is that audience does not equal customer. You know, I could have 100,000 views on my videos and it could just be people who are taking information and walking away, versus I could have 50 views on a video and maybe about 95% of these people will actually buy from me, will actually invest in my programs because they care about what I have to say and they wanted to stick until the very end of that video. That's how you build trust. That's how you build a tribe. And so my biggest advice to you guys, if you guys are posting content and you're going the content marketing route the same way that I have, is to not be so attached to external vanity metrics like views and subscribers, and really evaluate your success on the one-on-one conversations that you're having, the people who are actually buying from you, the people who are actually sitting there loyal to you, loyal to your content and watching the full thing. That's how you determine whether or not you've truly made an impact. So I really want to also drive that home to you guys, because I know that a lot of new content creators, you fall victim in vanity metrics. And if something isn't performing, you're not good, people hate your content, all of that. But really, ask yourself how many people have actually messaged you and thanked you for your help. Even if it's one person, it makes a huge difference. So please keep this in mind as you're going through your journey. Okay guys, so as you can see, I really scratched the surface in all the questions that you gave me. I really thought that I would be able to answer more questions, but I don't want this video to be a whole hour long because my video editor will be very upset with me. But literally like or comment below if you want a part 2 or if you want more videos where I'm answering questions like this in a very candid way, because I do see value in this, but I do want to continue it if you guys want me to. So make sure you're thumbs upping this video and commenting below if you want more of this. I had a very fun time answering some of the top questions that you guys had for me. And as always, guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of this year-long journey to many more years to come. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, and a great life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.